Vamos agora para a nossa segunda apresentação. Vai falar sobre usos possíveis da inteligência artificial na criação de um mundo sem tantas fronteiras, né? E falando sobre o contexto africano em relação a isso. Vamos receber agora a nossa próxima palestrante, ela que é queniana. Ela é líder de equipe da Instadeep, que é uma organização que fornece sistemas de tomada de decisão com inteligência artificial para as empresas. Ela é fundadora da comunidade Nairobi Women, especializada em Machine Learning e Ciência de Dados. Ela também é facilitadora de treinamentos em jornalismo digital e dados e foi nomeada pela revista Forbes como uma referência em inovação com inteligência artificial. Vamos receber com uma salva de palmas a Muthoni Wanyoike. You can come here. Good morning, welcome. Lembrando para todo mundo usar agora, quem precisar, do aparelhinho de tradução simultânea, que a palestra dela vai ser em inglês.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the kind introduction. It's a great pleasure to be in Rio today. In mid-2018, I attended Google I/O, and I'll share a bit of what was my tipping point with artificial intelligence in a second or so. And I/O is this conference that hosts about 8,000 developers from all over the world who come together to try and learn more about technology and about the work that Google does. And I was mind blown by the progress that they were making in language processing, in creating autonomous cars, and in conversational AI. So sitting there, this is the demo that Sundar, the CEO, shared.
Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule the appointment for you. Let's listen.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Mm-hmm. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like. What service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now. Okay, we have a 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? The first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks. Great. Have a great day. Bye.
And the reason
That was a real call.
Significant for me is because it creates an opportunity for businesses that do not have online presence, for example, to be able to interact with their customers and to interact with people without needing to create a lot of digital content. Later in the same year, I came to terms with greater advances in AI research at the 32nd Neural Information Processing Systems Conference, which was in Montreal. And this again brings together thousands of researchers from around the world to exchange and share research on advancements in information processing in biological sciences, in physical sciences, in math, and in computational sciences. Currently, more than 10,000 research papers are being published every month on Archive, which is an online repository for computational research. The most beautiful, the most deepest experience one can have is the sense of the mysterious. To have a sense that beyond anything that can be experienced, there is something that our minds cannot grasp and whose beauty and simplicity are but a feeble reflection. To me, it suffices to wonder at these secrets and to attempt to grasp with my mind a mere image of the lofty structure of all that there is. For the first time in history, in some parts of the world, more people die today from eating too much than from eating too little. More people die from old age than from infectious diseases, and more people commit suicide than are killed by soldiers, terrorists, and criminals combined. In sub-Saharan Africa, where I'm from, poverty, disease, inequality, and appalling disparities of wealth, health, and opportunities continue to condemn millions of people to lives of destitution and despair. My presence here today is somewhat unlikely. A young African woman talking about artificial intelligence. So I'll tell you a bit about my story. I fell in love with computers as a young girl. We had a computer lab in school, and I loved to sneak there because there were these information boxes through which I could learn anything just by being able to search for what it is that I wanted to know. I wanted to be a computer studies teacher, and of course there was no way I was going to explain this to my parents who are paying a premium for me to access this kind of education. So I picked a different career path, and yet I still keep finding ways to gather with learners and with curious minds such as you to press on the future and to identify opportunities that can catapult us and our communities to the next frontiers. So today I'll be trying to look at how we can use artificial intelligence to solve global inequality. At 23, I co-founded what has been my largest and most interesting classroom yet, which has had almost participation of around 3,000 members. Since then, I've been tinkering with what we know to be the foundations of quality and sustainable learning and teaching experiences. Reducing inequality is the highest human achievement. Our greatest advances are not in discoveries, but in how these discoveries can be used to reduce inequality and to make the world and to leave the world better than we found it. For me, the challenge I pose to technology is simple. How can I use the little resources that I have back home to create sustainable solutions to the problems around me? Artificial intelligence is the use of computer systems to mimic and simulate, human intelligence. And AI is already affecting our lives today in many ways by taking up a central role in major decision-making systems, in hospitals and in banks, in governments and in industries. It is estimated that in the next 10 years, AI will add around $15.7 billion to the economy. Today, AI promises to influence the price of the food we eat, the cost and the quality and the access to basic human rights, such as food, such as healthcare and education. And artificial intelligence touches on the welfare and the prosperity of nations today and in the future. When it comes to global economies and technologies, there are two forces that shape the global labor landscape. This is automation and innovation. We've all seen a movie or two of robots taking over the world that focuses more on automation, which is a lot about trying to replace humans with machines. But what I'll be focusing today on as a solution to solving inequality is innovation in AI, which focuses more on creating new opportunities and new frontiers for us as humanity to thrive and to flourish in this world and to live it better. So AI as a tool is significant for us today due to three main factors. The data that we generate today is, whether it's structured or not, whether labeled or not, is now more valuable than oil. By next year, it is estimated that each one of us will be creating around 2 MBs of data per second. Unlike oil, data is a finite resource. It cannot be restricted by physical boundaries and can go around the world in milliseconds, as we've just seen. While algorithms and data play strong roles in the performance of AI systems, of equal importance is the computing infrastructure upon which these AI systems run. Advances in AI are dependent on having hardware that is optimized for algorithms, such as neuromorphic compute, having hardware accelerators for machine learning models, embedded systems and parallel architectural designs. So what exactly are the depths of inequality globally today? The inequality of opportunity means that the quality of life that you live is determined by the lack of your birthplace. So if you are like me, born in sub-Saharan Africa, then this is your reality by the time you're born. Today, out of every 10 children born today, 1 dies before they reach age 5. In more advanced countries, this is around 1 in every 250 children. According to the UN guidelines on sustainable development goals, a majority of people still live under $2 a day, with about 10% of the global population living in abject poverty and extreme poverty. 1 in 10 people globally struggle throughout their lives to access the most basic human rights, be it healthcare, be it education, sanitation, or food. And most of these people, again, are where I am from. Approximately 1 in 9 people in the world today are undernourished. There's a rising worry in world hunger, with Africa remaining the continent with the highest prevalence for undernourishment, which affects close to 250 million people. More than 1 in 5 children under the age of 5 are stunted, and an estimated 300,000 women around the world die today due to complications around pregnancy and childbirth, and most of them are from low-income and middle-income countries. All of these deaths and all of this suffering is preventable and avoidable with already existing methods, as we'll be seeing today, that can be designed to reach more people using artificial intelligence. In 2015, for example, more than 50% of children and adolescents globally are not able to achieve minimum proficiency in reading and in math. Half of the global population that is illiterate lives in South Asia and in sub-Saharan Africa, where educational facilities still lack the basic infrastructure and the basic facilities to provide effective learning environments. I think we cannot afford to waltz around what ails the world today. The future has the potential to be different, and the new tools which technology provides, such as artificial intelligence, give us the opportunity to rethink about these problems, because they cut across the complexities of capitalism and socialism and other forms of governments. New tools such as they increase the rate of potential innovation to an unprecedented degree. And access to technology is triggering a revolution in what we as humans can do and achieve. Yet for every 1 person with access to technology, 5 people do not. The use of data to ensure marginal gains is a sure way to complement human intelligence and to help us push ourselves to the next frontiers, and to also eradicate our perceived boundaries and limitations. One strategy I like is the Amashi strategy that Lisedol plays against DeepMind's AlphaGo, which is an extreme strategy that forces an all-or-nothing situation, and it gives AlphaGo's capability to synthesize slim advantages quite irrelevant. The game of Go against this world champion was defined as China's Sputnik moment, after which massive investments were done in AI in order to ensure that China becomes the global AI superpower by 2030. And we can already see the great strides that China is making towards this goal, because they viewed this victory as both a challenge and as an inspiration. And that is what I would like to challenge us today, to understand that technology can be both an opportunity to challenge us to do better, to challenge us to do what it is that we are here for. Harnessing the power of AI today requires 4 analogous inputs. It requires data, it requires entrepreneurs, it requires AI researchers and scientists, as well as AI-friendly policies. We cannot connect the dots by looking forward. We can only connect the dots by looking backwards and somehow use this to create the future that we want. I think I missed that. Sorry. So AI holds a great potential to disrupt what we do with our labor markets and with social systems. We cannot afford to be passive spectators in the development of technology that affects us. Only about 0.5% of the global population today knows how to code. How many of us are developers, coders in the room? 2, so that's, okay. That's the 0.5% of the global population. So I hope you see the gap. And education, to me, is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. But not just any kind of education, more of education that is informed by what we know now using AI to be the future of the workspace. If you give a man a fish, you teach him how, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day or 2 at best, maybe 3 if he has a refrigerator. But if you teach him how to fish, he's fed for a lifetime. Quality education, education that is designed with the changing nature of the future of work in mind, as well as the disruptive power of technology, is paramount. And the beauty of learning, continued learning, is that it follows the owners wherever they go. So regardless of the boundaries that surround them, regardless of the constraints around them, you can still retain the quality of learning that you have. The 3 years at the Nairobi Women in Machine Learning and Data Science community have helped me to explore the use of education as a way and as a tool to bridge the inequality gap. After several iterations to our learning model and curricula, we were able to create a program that allows hundreds of women to study and to code from the comfort of their homes or the discomfort of sitting in traffic in order to gain key skills for foundational careers into AI. I still believe there is so much more that we need to do, and I see artificial intelligence as an enabler, an accelerator of sorts through which we can once and for all solve our society's problems. We have the opportunity to build our future today from a point of information, which is very different from the foundation through which our forefathers built what we have today. By collecting data and applying novel models and algorithms that allow us to optimize our resources, we will be able to achieve the goals of solving inequality. When you look at the global landscape of AI talent, today, there's reported shortage, massive shortage in AI talent around the globe, with women being vastly underrepresented in the field. The supply of top-tier AI talent does not meet the demands, as organizations around the world continue to position themselves in order to reap the awareness and the benefits of the awareness and implementation of AI. The AI talent pool is also highly mobile, with about 1/3 of researchers working for employers who are based in countries different from where they are trained. The traditional approaches to building artificial intelligence is to study and mimic human intelligence. John McCarthy, who developed the first modern theory of AI, believed that machines do not have to obtain intelligence by thinking like humans, and that it is more important to make artificial intelligence solve problems that can be solved by the human brain. And research in brain-like intelligence and machine learning that is represented using deep neural networks represents the 2 main development directions of core artificial intelligence technologies. We use specific algorithms to direct computer systems to appropriate models that can be based on existing data and can be used to make decisions on new situations on complete behavior mechanism. Great strides have been made in machine learning today, which has become a core paradigm of artificial intelligence technology. The AI we know today is based on modern algorithms that are supported by historical information and form artificial programs or systems that are capable of perception, cognition, decision-making, and implementation. Artificial intelligence can be applied to render superior healthcare services through intelligent diagnosis and treatment, medical image analysis, medical data management, precision medicine, and research and development of new drugs. Traditionally, doctors have to rely on their own medical knowledge and clinical expertise in order to make diagnoses of illnesses and to offer treatments. Using smart assistants for diagnoses and treatments that are capable of learning is improving that are capable of learning, which basically is improving with experience and remembering massive medical records while reading diagnostic reports, has the potential to eliminate global inequality in access to healthcare. IBM Watson's Health AI, that is deployed across many hospitals in the United States, is able to diagnose multiple cancers, including breast cancer, lung cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, bladder cancer, ovarian and uterine cancer. Watson Health is able to read 3,469 medical books, 200,000 medical papers, 69 therapeutic plans, 61,540 experiment results, and 106,000 clinical records in just about the time it has taken me to say all that. So think about the power it gives doctors when they try to handle a medical condition. Using eye scans, one of Google's AI research is able to predict up to a 5-year risk of having a heart attack or stroke, which informs a key non-invasive procedure to detect cardiovascular risk and predict the chances of readmission between 24 to 48 hours, which gives doctors plenty of time to be able to offer remedies for cardiovascular risks. In the education sector, one of the greatest challenge to learning is that we all learn very differently and at different paces. Some of us are more adept at left brain thinking, and we excel at analytical thought, as well as, and some of us are skilled at right brain functions, and we are more creative, more literally, and have superior communicative abilities. However, some of us are challenged in different ways with physical and mental learning challenges. We can use artificial intelligence systems to tailor and personalize learning based on a student's unique way of learning through hyper-personalizations with machine learning. This will help create custom learner profiles and customize learning material for each student based on their ability and their preferred mode of learning and experience. Rather than requiring teachers to create single curricula for all students, we can use augmented intelligent assistants to provide an array of learning material of the same core curricula that caters to specific needs of a student. These assistants can be used to help with administrative tasks as well in the education system, which when done right will greatly reduce the inequalities that we have in the education sector and improve fairness and quality of the admissions process. In agriculture, for example, artificial intelligence positions farmers, scientists, and general populations to promote more effective and efficient food production, food storage, and food dispatch, as well as reduce food wastage. Today, about a third of the food that is produced all over the world, which is close to about 1.3 billion tons, is wasted. Yet millions of people living in poverty have no access to food. And we can use AI to optimize on routing as well as efficient use of the existing resources. So how can we reap the maximum benefits of artificial intelligence as organizations? I think private and public partnerships which provide engagement opportunities to develop novel artificial intelligence systems through either individual project-based collaborations or joint initiatives to advance open and fundamental research, as well as collaborations in deployment and enhancement of research infrastructure will be a key way for us to enhance the workforce, as well as broaden our participation in building artificial intelligence systems. For us who work in this space, we must be, however, very cautious of the blinding effect that comes with a hunger for knowledge and the desire to push these human limits. Years after the Manhattan Project, J. Robert admitted to a strong sentiment that is shared by many AI experts today, that when you see something that is technically sweet, you do it, and you continue doing it and argue about what to do only after technical success. And this is how the atomic bomb was created. Just like fire, artificial intelligence is a primal force. The same fire that keeps us warm and cooks our food can incinerate and scorch cities in minutes. As artificial intelligence capabilities become more powerful and more widespread, the cost of existing artificial intelligence threats and attacks may be reduced using scalable AI systems in order to identify potential threats and vulnerabilities to digital security, to physical security, and to political security. Collaborations between AI experts and cybersecurity experts will help us to identify vulnerabilities as well as design security features. AI researchers and the organizations that employ them are also in a unique position to shape the security landscape of an AI-enabled world by highlighting and addressing the importance of education, the importance of ethical practices, ethical standards, and norms. High-level research on privacy, protection, and other legislative and regulatory purposes will also ensure fairness in building AI systems. It's my pleasure today to conclude my remarks by sort of paraphrasing Einstein's credo from 1932. It is a special blessing to belong among those who can and may devote their best energies to the contemplation and exploration of timeless things. I am grateful to be granted this blessing, which bestows upon one a large measure of independence from one's fate and one's attitudes, and from the attitudes of our peers. Yet this independence must not accustom us to the awareness of the duties that bind us to the past, that bind us to the present and the future of humankind at large. Our situation here on earth sometimes seems strange. Every one of us appearing here involuntarily and uninvited for a short time and without knowing why and for what reason. Yet in our daily lives, we see evidence that we are here for the sake of others, for the sake of those we love, and for the sake of those whose fate is connected to our own. I do not know where the limits with artificial intelligence are, but I want to go there in a pursuit of a better and more equitable world. Thank you.